So why don't we start introducing ourselves? I'm going to have each of our current students tell you their name, what year they are, where they are from, and some things that they're involved in on campus. So why don't we start with Nicole?
Hi everyone, my name is Nicole. I am a senior at Oglethorpe. I am also from Lithonia, Georgia. And then some things I'm involved in, I am an RA, which is a resident assistant, as well as a lead ambassador, and then involved in a few other clubs on campus, like the Black Student Caucus and the National Society for Leadership and Success.
Awesome, thank you, Nicole. How about Ruby?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Ruby Philipparts. I'm also a senior at Oglethorpe University. I'm actually an international student. I'm from Belgium. I'm really involved on campus. I'm also a lead resident assistant. I work in the Office of Admission, and I'm also a tutor for the economics department.
Awesome. Koivan?
Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Koivan Greer. I'm a senior as well. I'm a communications major, psychology minor. I'm from Alpharetta, Georgia. I'm a lead ambassador. I teach dance classes. I work in Black Student Caucus, SGA, student government. I do a lot of stuff.
Everything. Okay, awesome. And Gray?
I'm Gray. I'm a sophomore. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I study history and I'm involved in theater at Oglethorpe. I'm also a resident assistant, but I'm rising to be a CA, which is what Ruby is. And I'm an ambassador, and I'm rising to be a lead ambassador, which is what all of our seniors are. So that's really cool.
Oh, nice.
All right, awesome. Thanks, you guys. And so those are our wonderful student panelists, and we'll go ahead and jump in with a question. So the first thing I would love for a couple of people to tell us about would be, what was your transition like going from high school to college, and specifically becoming an Oglethorpe student?
I can take that question if you'd like. So I really think the transition from high school to Oglethorpe, or in college in general, it can be very scary, and Oglethorpe or faculty and staff at Oglethorpe really understand that. Oglethorpe is a relatively small school, and our classes are also pretty small, but you really have this kind of support group ready for you. Faculty are, like, because classes are small, they're really able to reach out to you if they need to. So that's what I really felt my freshman year when I was struggling with a specific subject. I was able to reach out to my professor, and they would refer me to the tutor for that class, or even schedule some private office hours. And even staff on campus. My admission counselor, she was super helpful, even while I was an admitted student and on campus already. She was still my go-to person, and that proved to be really helpful, and made also my parents feel very comfortable to know that there are people looking after me. So.
Thank you. Anybody else have thoughts on that?
I guess I'll go. Yeah, so it is like a really scary transition from going to high school to college, especially now with everything happening. But I feel like, Oglethorpe does like a great job of just like making sure you have resources available to you. So like your friends, your faculty members, like, your professors are always kind of like there to help you transition from high school to college. And like, our campus advising program really helps out with that, which if you don't know what that is, it's like a first year advising experience for the freshman class. And it's like about 10 to 12 advisees per advisor, and they help you with like your entire life on campus basically. If you have roommate issues, life issues, school issues, just go to them and they'll help you out with it. And it's really awesome because people like having like somebody to go to help navigate their career. That's why it's a compass. You're compassing, you're navigating your career on college, so it works out like that.
Yeah, and so in the same kind of way, that's awesome. In the same kind of way, when you guys were transitioning from high school to college, how did you feel like you were able to get involved socially? How did you meet people? What was that transition like for you?
Yeah, I'll take that question. So when I first got to Oglethorpe, I actually was on the volleyball team. So if you guys are like involved with sports or anything, I think that definitely was like a great way to just transition as far as like social life, just because you already know that you have a set of people that you can already kind of like get to know, and that will kind of like walk you through kind of how to talk to other people and get connected with other resources. So I kind of relied on like teammates to kind of help me figure out what Oglethorpe was about when I initially got there. But even if you're not involved with the sport, I know for the first like 6 weeks initially, like Res Life does a really good job of making sure that we have programs like every single week, making sure that you're like getting out there, getting social, like knowing everyone. And then the same thing, like orientation helps a lot. So there's going to be something literally like every single day. And I think that's where I met a lot of my friends, honestly. And then even to this day, like I'm a senior, but we still talk about orientation events like all the time. So.
Awesome. So it's easy to jump in from like day one and
Mm-hmm.
not let yourself be isolated. Make sure you're getting involved with people.
Definitely.
Yeah. Awesome. Did anybody else have thoughts they wanted to share about that? You want to move on?
Does Gray want to talk about that, or otherwise I can?
I mean, I can. I had a work study position coming in because I was nutty enough to apply for one before I actually got on campus. And because of that, I really quickly kind of found like my place, especially because my work study was through the student commons and we did events every week. So I got to plan the events, so that made sure I was there, and that really made friends.
Nice. Okay, so if you couldn't understand, I just Greg cut out for 1 second. They had a work study on campus, which we can definitely talk more about working on campus if you guys are interested. So we'll definitely come back to that. I do want to make sure, I don't know if everybody had a chance to share their major, and some of our students might be interested. Nicole, you're studying biology, is that right?
Yes. My major is biology, and then I also have a concentration in public health.
Okay. And Ruby, you're economics, is that right?
I'm an economics major, correct.
Koivan shared that he was studying communications. And Gray, what did you say you were studying?
History.
History, perfect. All right, so we do have some questions in the Q&A already, so we'll go ahead and start answering some of those. This one is kind of like our first question, so I thought we could start with that. Well, it's related. Since the school is small, does it ever feel like high school? You guys ever feel like school felt like high school for you?
It's different.
Yeah, I don't think it feels like high school.
No, it doesn't.
What's different about it?
I think it's, at the end of the day, although we're still a small university, and the student body is now about like 1,300 students, this might be even smaller than your current high school, and you might be afraid, oh no, maybe it's going to be even worse than high school. That's absolutely not the case. I really think that because the beauty of Oglethorpe is, because we're so small, we're one big community instead of a lot of smaller communities all in one place. And that really makes you feel that you belong somewhere. And I think that is what makes it different for me, at least. I felt, and I still feel, that I belong at Oglethorpe. And I didn't have that in high school.
Yeah, I think also because like you're in college, so like obviously like you're choosing your classes and you're kind of choosing who you kind of want to like be around, and so that like doesn't make it as high school, just because high school you're kind of like forced to be with everyone, and then here at Oglethorpe, like Ruby said, we're a big community, but if you are more like science driven, obviously you're going to be in more science classes, so then you're with like more like-minded people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so you can kind of find small pockets even within the community to like make
Exactly.
connection.
Yes.
Awesome. Somebody asked, let's see, for the people who came from out of state or even out of country, did you feel homesick? And if so, how do you deal with it?
So I'm kind of an odd one out for a lot of these because I went to boarding school. So I've never felt homesick. I like Atlanta. I feel really at home there. I am from a smaller town, so I was like, oh, getting to the big city was like such a goal of mine. I've never found myself like dying to get home, if that makes any sense. There's so much to do that I just don't feel that way.
What about you, Ruby?
I'm not gonna lie, I definitely hit some very hard periods where I was very homesick. Only thing I wanted to do was book a flight and go back home. But what really helped for me was to connect with people I felt comfortable with. Usually those were my friends, but sometimes I needed to vent to a professor about something, and I did a couple of times, or even to a staff member. And like Gray said, for myself, I felt doing things in Atlanta really helped me just to change my mind. So I went to so many trips to the High Museum, I went to so many like Atlanta United soccer games. Not only because I felt homesick, just because I love doing those as well, but that definitely helped me. It's not that you're a number at Oglethorpe as well. So some people also reach out to me and say like, hey, like, are you okay? You've been down for a couple, you've been down the past couple of days. So again, that helped me too, that I felt people actually cared about me.
Yeah, so a big piece for you, it sounds like too, was like making a home in Atlanta and making that a new home for yourself. Do other people have things that they really like about living in the city or living in Atlanta that are some of your favorite aspects of it?
Yes.
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, let's go, everyone. I'm from Georgia, obviously. Like I mentioned, I'm out from Georgia. 35 minutes like up the street from Oglethorpe, not too far away at all. But being in the city is the most fun ever. Okay, like I love food, as we all know. Nicole knows this personally because I'm in her car almost every single weekend going to go get food. Like, we have Fellini's for pizza, La Fonda for Mexican food. Like, there's places to go all up and down Peachtree Road, all around Buford. So, like, when I would get paid, especially like freshman year, Fridays I had no class, I'd be like, let's go to the mall. I would get food, I would buy clothes, and it would just be like, my current thing. Save your money though, because it leaves very quickly. But yeah, I just love being in the Atlanta area because like if you don't want to spend money, you can just go to like a museum, like to the park, and just kind of like chill out with your friends, or you can go spend money like Nicole and I do every single weekend.
That
I'd
exists.
also like to say Louisiana has like a specific culture and like cuisine to it, and I've managed to find like if not dupes, like I found crawfish like right up the road. So I don't know. I've managed to make my home there as well.
Yeah, that could help with some homesickness, being able to find like little pieces of home within the city. We're a big city, so we have a lot of that type of stuff. Do other people have favorite Atlanta spots or events they like to take part in?
I love the
Sorry.
Decatur Book Festival.
You love what? Decatur or something?
The Decatur Book Festival.
Okay, that sounds fun. Any other thoughts?
I love Piedmont Park, especially when the weather is nice. There are some great restaurants close by too. So go to Piedmont Park, hang out with my friends, walk on the Beltline, go to Pond City Market, all of that great stuff. And it's so easy to get there as well, even with public transportation. So definitely my favorite.
Yeah, so oh, sorry, go ahead, Nicole.
No, it's fine. I'd say, yeah, definitely Pond City Market. Like, that's always like a favorite of mine. But like, you don't, and like, if you guys are like out of state and don't know, like MARTA is the public transportation, so it's really easy to get to places like that. But even if you don't want to take public transportation or like go into the city, like right next door is town Brookhaven, and that's like walking distance away. And there's tons of food there that me and Coyvin will go and partake in as well. So you could do that, or they have different events too. Like I know they would have like movie nights, kind of like a screen on the green type of thing. And then like different events or like holiday festivals for like the holidays or something like that. So there's always something that's not even like in Atlanta, like you can go right next door and it's just as fun.
Yeah, so for people who aren't from Atlanta, don't really know it very well, we're in a neighborhood called Brookhaven, which is an awesome spot. It's very walkable, it's very safe, it's a really beautiful part of town. We're really close to an area called Buckhead, which is kind of a big shopping, corporate, fun district. There's malls, there's all kinds of stuff to do. And we're also not too far away from Midtown, which has tons of museums, awesome restaurants. Piedmont Park that Ruby mentioned, which is a great park. You can go sit outside. A couple people mentioned Pond City Market, which is like a big indoor open air market that has awesome food and vendors and booths. It's really cool. So there's a ton to do in our city. It is really easy to get around. We are close to public transit. So if you don't have a car, you can definitely still do a lot of stuff. And the university will take trips as well. Like, for students who want to go to this soccer game or whatever the case is, we have all the concerts and sporting teams and all that too. So there's tons to do, but there's definitely tons on campus also. So let's check out some more of these questions. What are some favorite off-campus jobs? And or is it easy to balance having a job during your freshman year? Did any of you guys work your freshman year either on or off campus?
I had a on-campus job. I was a barista at the on-campus Starbucks. Freshman year.
So how did you balance doing that while also being a first-year
I
college
didn't
student?
know that.
Oh, you didn't? No, it was definitely a decision I made to really get involved in campus and not a conventional way, and definitely proved to be really helpful because I was able to meet a lot of people. But that is when I learned what time management was and how actually to do that. I was a little bit overwhelmed my fall semester freshman year because, you know, you get so many classes, you try to get ahead of work, but then you get more and more finals and midterms. But I think with the time management, planning your schedule, really talking to your professors and even with your advisor about things that you have questions about or stressed about, definitely really helped me and also prepared me for future leadership positions. Like Gray and Nicole, we're all a resident assistant, we're RAs. That takes about a lot of our time as well, working in the Office of Admission. I think really working on that time management my freshman year helped me, and I think I can speak for all of us, helped all of us get prepared for what's to come in the next couple of years.
I also, yeah. So my freshman year, I didn't work fall semester, but I did get an off-campus job second semester, spring semester. I worked off campus at the Moe's, that's also right in town, Brookhaven, so it was walking distance. So the same thing, like Ruby said, it was really just time management. I think I was glad that I didn't have anything the first semester, just to kind of like integrate into college, kind of see like my daily schedule, kind of just the ins and outs of college at the beginning. And then I was like, okay, so like now I want some money. And so then I just decided. So yeah, definitely time management, but I think once you like give yourself a little time, then it's easier to get adjusted.
Yeah, a lot of students work in town Brookhaven, I've noticed. So town Brookhaven, if you don't know, it's walking distance from our campus. It's a shopping center. So there's restaurants, there's shops, there's movie theater, there's a Publix, there's a Costco, Marshalls, all kinds of stuff. And so that is a really popular place for our students to work off campus. We have a lot of on-campus jobs too, so it's kind of about what you're looking for in a job, but we definitely have a lot of students who work off campus too, and then definitely interning off campus as well, if students are interested in internships, which we could talk more about if you guys want. Some other questions, so this is kind of, these questions are related, we got two in the chat. One that says, are you allowed to have visitors in your dorm? And the other one that says, are friends from other colleges allowed to stay in the dorm? If so, how many? So kind of, we have a lot of RAs in the group. What are the rules on having visitors over in the dorm rooms?
So you can have visitors. It's, I believe, 2 nights in a row is what we kind of are like, it's like suggested, just to kind of be more like nice to your roommates. It's not like your RA is going to come in and be like, what do you mean you have a visitor 4 days in a row? But just to be like kind to your roommates, we recommend having it like 2 nights. And yeah, from anywhere. We're not like, oh, kids from memory can't come. Like, anyone can come and spend the night.
It's all about communication with your roommates as well. All of your RAs, when you move in, will give you a roommate agreement that you will fill out with your roommate and suite mates, where you will be like discussing things of how many days notice or hours notice you want for if I have a visitor around, what's the temperature that we would like to agree on. So all of that kind of like basic stuff you will discuss the first couple of days with your suite mates and with your RA, just to avoid any discussions down the road. But your RA is a great resource too. So like Gray said, like usually 2 consecutive nights is what we recommend. Beyond that, it's usually a conversation you have with your RA or your suite mates.
Yeah.
I've for sure had an agreement that was like, you can't bring anyone into the room unless we've like texted the group chat.
Okay, so yeah, different people have different preferences, and that's important. Same type of thing. We have another question in the chat. How did you adapt to living in a dorm room? Any tips or horror stories? Hopefully we don't have too many horror stories, but if so, how did you deal with it?
Okay, I guess I'll take that one first. So for me, like up until April of like my like the year I came to Oglethorpe, I did not want to live on campus at all. I was terrified. I was like, oh, I don't want to like, leave my parents, because like I had never left my parents like that ever. But I came to campus like, a few more times. I did like used to it. And actually Ruby was my first year suite mate. So
Aw.
we like shared a bathroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did.
So it was really awesome. I think Oglethorpe does like a really good job of like kind of making sure you guys are aligned with people who are like you as well. So like Ruby and I, like our bathroom was clean, like our room was clean, like we like respected each other's like privacy and like we're still friends now, so obviously it worked out. But I mean like it worked out for me. Honestly, just like be honest on your roommate, like like quiz contract thing like they have for you. Just be honest with that and like show that like how you are as a person, because like if I had lied on that and like I got paired with Ruby would have been really mad at me, but I was honest and it like worked out, so I enjoyed it. I honestly recommend it because like staying on campus, if your class is canceled at like 10:30 in the morning, you can walk on back to your room and go back to sleep, and I love that. It is so nice.
Women love sleeping. Yes.
Yeah.
Other thoughts?
I've lived in a variety of dorms and a variety of settings in those dorms. And I would say, I guess, I don't know if it's a horror story, but my freshman year, my roommate and I both kind of acted really lax on our roommate application. I don't know why I put like I was okay with it being warm, knowing that I like it cold in my dorm room. She liked it warm, and like it was a problem. Like we're friends now that we don't live together, but we're living together. I'm surprised we didn't kill each other.
Yeah. So the advice being, please be honest on your
Yes.
roommate questionnaire, because why would you want to be paired with someone who does not fit your personality style?
Right.
Yeah.
Got along outside of like room stuff.
Yeah. Good
To be
advice.
honest.
In the same type of way, I know you guys are, lived on campus pretty much your whole time, if not your whole time, but I'm sure folks who commute. So do you, is it easy for people who are commuting to still be involved? Are they still able to make friends and be a part of the community?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There are, we have our commuter corner, which is every week. The Department of Campus Life organizes like a little cute gathering of all commuters where they can come together. Also, you'll see a lot of the commuters hang out in our game room where they play games, play pool or something. And obviously there are so many events on campus where commuters go to, even events that happen in the residence halls. Like we had so many events made by RAs, and obviously we're not going to turn away any commuters that show up. And I think it's pretty cool that commuters say like, hey, I'm going to this residence life program, and also gives them another chance to meet people that actually live on the dorms. But I've had so many friends that are commuters, and all of them said they really felt they're part of the campus just because they have access to the same programs too. So
Yeah. So I have a few advisees of mine, freshman advisees that commute, and it seems like one of the best ways to get involved if you guys are thinking of commuting is don't just come to school for classes and like leave right after. Make an effort to go to the dining hall and eat and go to campus events, and if you have a break between classes, stay and try to hang out with folks because that's the best way to make sure that you're still making connections. So if you are thinking of commuting, definitely can still be hugely involved in the campus. Just make an effort to be there besides just for class, I think is important. Cool, another question. So what is the diversity like on campus? Do people tend to be accepting and get along despite differences in ideologies / interests? What do you guys think?
I'd say like our diversity, like our campus is very diverse. If I'm not mistaken too, I believe like isn't like almost 50% of the campus identifies as like in some sort of minority like population. And so I think for me that was a big factor for me. Like my high school was like kind of diverse. And so I just wanted to like continue with that in college, and so I appreciated that. But even I think a lot of my friends noticed too from like I said, we're seniors, but like from our freshman year to even now, it seems like that diversity factor has even like increased. So I definitely think that like Oglethorpe in itself prides itself on diversity, and you can just see it throughout your classmates and throughout the faculty as well.
Awesome. Do you guys feel like you are friends with people from different backgrounds than you? Have you met people like that you wanted to who are different from you, and you've been able to find a diverse group of friends?
For sure.
And do people get along?
Yeah. I think so.
All right.
I mean, I was going to say, like, as a non-binary person, I know I'm a binary person that a lot of people have met. And like, just, no one's like been like me for that. So, yeah.
People have been respectful.
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right, let's see what other questions we have. Are there any public groups or clubs like a writing guild? And if not, could we start our own? So I don't know if you guys know of specific clubs involved with writing, but if not, more generally, can you start your own clubs and what's that process like?
Yes, you need like, I think 5 members to be like the heads of the club. And so like a president, a vice president, treasurer, so on and so forth. Begin a club, and that process is fairly easy. I know online forms you just have, and then like you get a budget approved by a student government association. I know internet's unstable. I hope y'all can hear me. But there's a writing frat, which we have like a bunch of like fraternities that aren't like social. They're like non-social, right? And Nicole's in one. Aren't you in FIDE?
No.
Oh, I thought you were in FIDE.
No, I'm not in FIDE, but I could tell you about FIDE if we need to, but that's separate. We'll do that later.
There. So there's the writing one. There's writing fraternities, but there's also the little like folio books that they make every semester. The Tower. So yes, we called it folio at my high school. Think of the name. But they have like, it's like a writing journal, a literary journal that like students submit to every semester. And I know they meet once a week. And then there's another writing club that meets like prompts that students try to write up something and come to the meetings prepared for. There's a hand.
Yeah, so a lot of like different types of academic interest clubs or hobby interest clubs. There's the different like fraternities like Gray was mentioning that aren't the social kind that you're thinking of, but either like honors fraternity or different, there's like a pre-med fraternity, for example, there's honor society, stuff like that. And we also do have social fraternities and sororities. So if you're interested in Greek life, is anybody here in Greek life or no? Not so much? Okay. We do have a lot of students in Greek life. About 25% of our students are in Greek life. Do you guys have any experience with folks in Greek life or kind of what that's like? You're nodding, Koivan?
Yeah, I mean, I give tours, so I mean, I know something about this.
Oh, you know things, yeah.
Yeah, so we have 3 paneling sororities, Chi Omega, Alpha Sigma Tau, and Tri Sigma. We have 3 IFC fraternities, which are Chi Phi, SAE, Sigma Alpha Epsilon, and then we have Delta Sig. And then we have 2 Divine Nine organizations. We have the Alphas and the AKAs, and then we have 1 local like community like started sorority on campus, like ISI, Epsilon, ISI. Yeah, so in total 9. If you want to join those, the traditional organizations have like rush for like the 2nd, 3rd week of school, and they're awesome people. I did not think I was going to come to school and be friends with like fraternities, sororities at all, but freshman year I was like, oh, these people are so nice, they're so cool, I love them. So like I have been to different like Greek events. I'm not Greek at all, but like I love free food and I love just like talking to people. So whenever they have events like that, I'm always like showing up to them. They have like really cool like Greek block parties. The Alphas and AKAs have really cool events as well. So like they try to like not make their events exclusive to only their members. It's actually like the entire campus. So it's really awesome. I enjoy them. They're nice people.
I'd say social fraternities are like the best way for commuters to get involved. Even if you don't really rush, if you just go through the like rush process, you can tap out. And like I have I think one of our friends, like I know her really well, and I assumed she was a member of a sorority just because she's so involved with it, but she's actually not. But she's a commuter and she's really neat.
So they're not like cliquey, you can only hang out with us if you're in our sorority.
Absolutely not.
All right, so shifting gears a little, we have a question in the chat. How are classes? Are they mostly lecture or discussions?
As a humanities major, they're mostly kind of discussion led. But I know that like we have lecture ones, but that my teachers certainly like will stop and be like, so what do you think about Britain? Like
as a one of the soft science, if you can call it, like in the economics classes, you might expect them just to be very boring hour-long lectures. And surprisingly enough, it's just a cool combination of lectures and discussions. A lot of our classes are discussion-based, even like debate style is how I like to call it. And that was a very surprising for me. Also, some of our core classes, those are more discussion-based. But I'm happy to see that even in my more traditional higher level economics classes, we still have a lot of discussions.
Yeah, even so, like I'm a STEM major, but so a lot of that is lecture. But we do have a lot of like discussions within our classes too. So like we might be learning from PowerPoints and different things like that, but the professors will always like try and also want to get our opinion about different topics. We also do these things called journal clubs, which is like essentially you're reading a scientific paper and then you're discussing it and just trying to get all the information out of it as much as you can. And so we do those a lot. And I think because we're a smaller school, the professors make sure that we're able to have these discussions and making sure that everyone kind of like is able to voice their opinion and then understand like different people's thought processes and everything. And then like Ruby said, core is like, I think that's where I get most of like the discussions and everything, but you can still get it from your major classes as well.
Yeah. And no matter what your class is, they're all going to be small classes. So we don't really have many classes that are over 25 students. So you're definitely never going to experience that sort of giant lecture hall experience of a class. That doesn't exist on our campus. So you're always going to have a pretty small, intimate learning environment. Gray may have turned off their video. They were having some issues. How do you balance your extracurricular activities and fit them into your schedule if you're involved in more than one activity?
Buy a planner. Plan it. I color code things, so like I have like my classes in different colors and like my time commits in different colors as well. So like the last 2 years been pretty busy, like, you know, working in admissions and like working like student government and then working as a dance teacher for like, you know, a year. It's kind of busy, but like, you know, I enjoy being busy. I think our school does a really good job of like, you know, making sure you have a way to get involved very quickly and very easily. So for me, I just plan everything out, like write it down, because if you don't write it down, you're gonna forget, and then you forget, oh no, your core paper is gonna be late, and now you like fail your core paper, and now you don't want to do that. Yeah. So just write things down, and like if you have an issue, tell your professor, like I need an extension, I need some help with this, and like they're gonna be happier that you came to them earlier than telling them that it's late.
Yeah. Same. Past 2 semesters, even when someone was like, hey, do you want to have dinner tonight? I was like, give me a second, I have to see my schedule. Because like I was like, when I commit to something, I want to make sure I can. But it's all about planning, time management, especially at Oglethorpe, because we're, again, such a small school. If you talk to many students and all of us, we're involved in so many different things, from admissions to student government, Greek life, residence life, office of admission, all of that great stuff. So we have to plan all of it. But like Koivan said, professors understand that too, that we're not only students, like we're also some other things. So they're really, really flexible if you need an extension or anything. And for me as well, past semester, past years have been very, very busy. But yeah, buy a planner. I use my phone, Outlook, a calendar for everything. And that was really helpful to just plan my time.
Yeah, awesome. So another question in the chat, are there counseling services offered on campus?
Yes, there are counseling services. We do have a counseling center that is located now it's on like the garden level of the library, I believe. And it is free and confidential. They also have a service dog. His name is Ziggy. So if you want to hang out with a service dog, you can do that as well. But yeah, and they're open to all students, and you can go, I think just at any point, you just schedule an appointment and kind of go from there.
Yes, very good for stress management, anything you got going on. It is free. It's not something you have to deal with insurance, anything like that. So at any point you have a desire to go. They are there for you. Let's see what else. What is the most challenging part of attending Oglethorpe? What have you guys found to be a challenge?
It's a great question. I'm actually thinking about that.
I wonder if I feel like with Ruby on the call, I feel like this is kind of silly, but I have to come home for doctor's appointments a lot. And I've found that kind of challenging. There's a clinic right by the school that like offers like, I think like pretty like discounted rates for Oglethorpe students, but because my insurance is specific to Louisiana, I'm not willing. So I have to come home for all my doctors. I think that's the only challenge I've ever faced.
Yeah, so dealing with managing like at-home stuff, on-campus stuff, definitely something to figure out if you can offer from around there. Yeah, that could definitely be a challenge.
I think that the challenge, I think we touched on that, the previous question with time management. That was actually my biggest challenge the first semester I became an RA. It's an amazing leadership position. I encourage everyone to at least consider it, but it's a big time commitment. In a way, you have to be on call 24/7 if there's an emergency with your resident. And that was an adjustment I had to make, because you might be in class, you might get a very urgent text or email. So just like balancing that was a challenge, but again, with the time management we just discussed, that helped me and made the adjustment.
Yeah, awesome. Another question, how does student government work? What influence does it have?
Okay, I guess that's for me. So I was on student government for 2 years. I was sophomore class president and junior class president. So they do a lot of kind of like the like student handling of like student to like the higher up communication. So for like my experience, we had to like plan out different events. Like I planned like, you know, really cool like, you know, parties and like campus parties, parties and like events, so, like, you know, for the sophomore and junior class, and like any sort of communication the university wanted to like tell like the sophomore and junior class, I would be kind of like that person. They would come to like have like an email laid out for them, like, you know, communicate that to them. It's a lot of fun. We also get a chance to like figure out like how to give like what money to different clubs. So we have like allocation meetings twice a year, and it's like all the clubs come to us. So like, you know, we need this amount of money for our club budget this semester, and they present it to SGA, and then we vote on that budget and like decide if we want to pass it or not. And it's really cool because it's kind of like a chance to take on like a lot of cool leadership positions. You can be like the president of the class, you can be a class senator, you can be like on the exec board, like actually like a president or like, you know, VP of the Senate, or you can be on programming board. And programming board is kind of like SGA, but they plan like all like the fun on campus events. So we have like things like Stomp the Lawn, Quad Fest, which like, you know, I talked about in the band message meeting thing. They get a chance to kind of plan out like the more fun events, and SGA does fun events as well, but we also handle kind of like the more business, like day-to-day operations of the university and like the student body as well. So kind of like, you know, take your pick. Something
I just wanted to add what I think was really cool and what I was so surprised by: the student activity fee that we pay all of that goes to SGA, and they use that for all of the events. So nothing is what the university keeps. And I just think that's really cool that the university is like so committed to everything we get from that student activity fee goes back to the student, which I think is really, really cool.
Yeah, if anybody is like, here's fee and they're like, oh my gosh, what is that? No, it's $140 a semester. It, like Ruby said, 100% of it goes to the student orgs, and it is included in your tuition and fees on your award letter. So it's not a secret fee that we will spring on you. But yeah, all that money goes towards what you guys want to do. So that's why it is important. So Questionnaire, it sounds like that being a part of SGA probably a good experience for a communication major in general.
Yeah.
A lot of that communicating. Cool. How easy/hard is it to find a job on campus, and what types of jobs are available?
I think I've worked on campus in a handful. I applied for a bunch of positions my freshman year. So there's like IT stuff, and then there's like office kind of ish positions, and like most of the like more back-endy offices need like work study students to kind of act as like, I guess like secretaries would be the best word for it. So I've worked in admissions as a work study student and in campus life. And then Starbucks has work positions as well. So I think it's pretty easy. And then if you don't, work study is something that's awarded kind of like a financial aid based program. And then if you don't like qualify for work, work study, you can, those positions, if like students who do qualify don't end up applying and they still need like a secretary like student, they open those up to the whole of campus. So I think it's pretty easy to find on campus work.
Awesome. And there's people on campus that can help. So if you show up and you feel like, I don't know who to talk to, we definitely have people in the Career Center, and your advisor can help you. There's definitely ways to get connected with the on-campus jobs. Let's really quickly burn through a couple more because I don't want to keep you guys for too long. You've been super helpful. Is there a way to connect with incoming freshmen? Anybody know of ways right now that students can be interacting with other incoming freshmen?
The band app, yes, which Coiven, I think, knows how to get logged in and everything.
It is so much fun. Okay, I'm not a freshman anymore. It's been a long time since I've been a freshman, but y'all are so funny. I love reading messages throughout the little app. The band app, it's like in the app store. You just download it. It's BAND, and I don't know who has the link, but you can I think like one of y'all have the link. You can scan a QR code or follow that link to get into the class of 2024, which sounds crazy to say, but the class of 2024 band group, and it's kind of like a mini Facebook page. Y'all can talk to each other, post pictures, answer questions, have polls. It's so cool. So I don't know how to get people in, but Kelly, you might know how to get people in. Great.
So the band is specifically for students who aren't enrolled. So once you pay your enrollment deposit, you're enrolled, you are coming, we immediately will send you a link to log into the band. Basically, you have to request access. So you'll click on the link, you'll type in your name, and then Katie, who's one of our counselors who runs the band, will add you. If you're not an enrolled student yet, you're still considering, you're admitted, but you're not quite sure, we are right now looking into some more different platforms that we can use to have everybody be able to connect, whether or not they are an enrolled student. Definitely get on Petrel Connect if you are not already, which is like the new version of your Petrel portal, so you can add stuff about yourself and use that, and we're looking into some other ways for you guys to be able to chat. But if you are an enrolled student and you're not on the band, what are you doing? Get on there. If you need the link, just text or email your counselor. If you need it resent, we'll definitely resend it to you. No problem. Let's see if there's any more quick questions we can answer. There's a lot of questions in here which we're not gonna have time to, which is awesome. We will definitely make sure to send some answers out through email and other stuff like that. Any tips for the first day of school someone wants to know?
Talk to people.
People.
Don't be shy. Even professors, upperclassmen, other people in your class, really put in some effort to get to know others. At the end of the day, all of the freshmen are in a way in the same boat. So it's really easy to get connected on campus. So really take advantage of that first day and of all of the cool activities that are going on during orientation weekend and welcome week to get to know people across campus.
Yeah, I say definitely talk to people, like Ruby said, and then also keep an open mind. College is just a new experience and it's so exciting, but nerve-wracking at first too. But if you just have an open mind and then just kind of welcome everything, then I think you're gonna have a better experience.
I would say do not let something discourage you. For me, I was late to my first class freshman year. I didn't know where I was going. I was like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? And your first day might not go how you think it's gonna go, but that's gonna pan out to your entire 4 years on the campus. Just let yourself have fun and don't try to make things be perfect. Just be yourself and enjoy your time. Please enjoy it because I miss it so much.
I actually lost my phone the first day of classes. I got back to my dorm and was panicking because I was like, I am 3 states away from home and I can't find my phone and it's probably stolen. So my roommate set up the Find My iPhone thing, and it pinged off being in our dorm, and a girl who lived right below us had actually taken it home to because she was she didn't want to turn it into an office because she's it's 5 o'clock on a Monday, there's nothing they can do. So she was going to bring it to the RAs, and then while we were looking for it, we found it in our dorm, and I left it in Lupton, so it was crazy. But yeah, people are really nice, so don't be afraid to talk to everyone and meet people. I'd actually been in her room meeting her roommate that day, so I don't know, my dorm was a safe haven for me my first day.
People look out for each other.
Yeah.
Okay, second to last question we will do. Do you like your core classes and how do they help you with your major?
I actually really like core. Because I'm a humanities major, I write a lot. So, and the first year core is kind of teaching you how to write a paper. And I think in high school, a lot of the times they're like, you have to have your thesis statement at this point in the paper and you have to do it this specific way. And my core teacher was very about breaking us out of that mold and getting us to just write what we thought. When I wrote a paper that was kind of just like run of the mill, like I didn't really care about it, she called me in and was like, you didn't like this paper. I want you to rewrite it. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I like core a lot. I think it actually taught me how to write a paper in a way that I hadn't experienced before. And that's important for me.
It's important. Yeah. Any other thoughts about core?
I really, really like core too, mainly because it's a lot of discussions. I'm in a math core class right now, which in a way is actually the philosophy of math, which I was I didn't really know how to feel about that class when I first walked in, but it proves actually to be really useful in my economics classes too, because in that core class, we are actually focusing on, instead of looking at a math problem and then solving it immediately, we're first looking at the problem and analyzing how we can best solve it and all of that. And I actually took that to my economics classes, and in class, we often talk about the solution, and then I'm like, hey, what if we go back to the problem? Like, what if we solve it this way? So in math core, and in this case, it's not about the answer. And that's what my professor says too. She said to us first day of class, I don't care about your answer. I care about how you get there. So it's a lot of writing and a lot of like critical thinking. And that's what you need also when you go find a job later. It's a critical thinking skill. And that is really what core teaches you.
Yes, super important. I love that. I'm going to answer this question really quick because there's a couple people asking kind of the same thing. It was like, are we going to be social distancing in the fall? Are we going to be on campus? Is everything going to be online? That's a really great question. And we are, everybody in the country is wondering that. We don't know is the answer. We are going to be doing whatever is recommended. We don't know where we're going to be in the next few months from now. We certainly hope to be on campus and back to everything as normal. But since that's out of our hands, we can't really say where we're going to be, but we promise we are going to stay on top of all of the updates. We're going to be doing everything we can to get things back to normal, and you guys will know things, as we know them. So we promise to stay in touch and do everything we can to get things back to the way we like them. So we'll be keeping an eye on the news and the recommendations like you guys are. And then let's go ahead and end with this question. It's the very first question that was asked, and I like it a lot. It's my favorite. What is your favorite part of Oglethorpe? So if everybody wants to give us like a quick answer on what is your favorite thing, I know that's a hard question. I think our students would love to know.
I love the fact that I can walk into pick a random room on campus, and I know I'll find someone there that I can say hi to, and I can just talk about random things and just feel comfortable around them. Oglethorpe is such a cool place. I really, really miss it a lot. The fact that I could just have so many friends all over campus and just know I'll have someone there.
Yeah. I'd say my favorite part of Oglethorpe is kind of like along what Ruby said, but I think just like the tight-knit community that we have. Especially, I think it was a big thing for me because like when I first got into college, I considered myself like an introvert, but now I can kind of consider myself like an extrovert. Like it's definitely like allowed me to kind of come out of my shell and just be able to talk to a bunch of different people and to learn different things. And I just love the community because I don't think I would have been able to do it without Oglethorpe.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll go. Let me get my tissue ready. I think kind of speaking to like what Ruby and Nicole said, like Oglethorpe's community is so unique, and it's hard to explain until like you actually come to our school. But I mean, I'm sure like for those of you who came to like Scholarship Weekend, like different like events on campus, you kind of like get a feel of it already from there. But like Nicole was saying, like from me, August 19th, 2016 to like me now, April 3rd, 2020 is a huge transition. And like I don't think like the faculty, the staff members, like, you know, whoever I met has been like so supportive and like instrumental like that change. And like it's just something about our campus that makes it just like home in a sense. And yeah, it's really awesome.
Yeah, I feel like I'm saying the same thing that everyone else has said, but I miss all my friends. Like I miss getting to see Corbin in the calf and like yelling to say hi to each other. Like, because I have that same thing Ruby has, where like, because I think we're especially like involved on campus, which I think everyone knows us, but I think everyone knows each other too. Like, I can say a name and my friends might not necessarily know the name, but once I describe someone, they're like, oh, I know who that is. Like I just miss seeing everyone and like getting it's my favorite thing. It's just being on campus. And I say this every tour I give, that like as I'm giving a tour, people say hi to me. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like I know everyone. It's just nice.
Now the fact that, sorry to cut you off, Kelly. I just wanted to add as well. Now the fact that I'm like, we're all back home. Now I'm finally realizing actually everything I did at Oglethorpe and I took for granted was sad it had to end so quickly, but it's a very special place, and it's sad that I realized it now that that we all left, but it's the community really that I think is my favorite part, and I will never forget that.
We love you guys. I miss seeing your faces every day.
Stop, we're not gonna cry. We're not.
Everyone's amazing, and we're gonna see you again. But anyways, thank you so much for being our student panelists. Everybody who's listening at home, thank you for joining us and taking time out of your Friday afternoon to hear from us. I know we didn't get all of the questions answered, but please continue to ask them. If you want to ask your counselor and have us ask a student, we are more than happy to do that. We can have students reach out to you. We want to answer your questions, so please keep asking them. We will be having more panels. We'll be having more virtual events. So keep checking your emails and, keep joining us online as we, learn how to do this whole thing. We will figure it out together. So please continue to join us. If you have more questions, let us know. We will go ahead and end the meeting for now. But like I said, continue to engage with us. Does anybody have a final word or message they want to share before we go?
Listen, I know things are rough right now. I'm gonna say like your graduation is canceled, prom might be canceled, but I promise you these next 4 years are gonna make up for it. Okay, just hang on, please.
Yes, it's not the end, it's the beginning. So we're about to have a lot of fun together. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We will see you soon, and we hope you have an awesome weekend.